Hello and welcome to Dad Got This. And today we're working on the propane grill and we're gonna do some Memphis-style dry rub ribs. Let's get to it. Now the last time I did a style food from a region, I got yelled at. I did North Carolina pulled pork and I was told I did everything wrong. It was not North Carolina style. I basically just did everything wrong. So if I've done this wrong, please be kind to me. Let me know what I've done wrong in the comments. I will take all constructive criticism and I'll try to get it right in the next video. From what I found, this is what has been called Memphis style. You basically take a dry rub, you put it on the ribs, you cook them, you don't put any sauce on them, you mop them every once in a while, and that is a Memphis style rib. Now, some people will argue about that and say that's not how they do it in Memphis. That's what I found. But we're not gonna do it on a smoker. We're gonna actually do it on my Denali 605 propane grill to prove that you don't need a full-blown smoker to make amazing barbecue. If all you've got is a propane grill, we can make some great barbecue. And it's not that hard. Ribs are really actually pretty easy. They're one of the easier barbecue foods to make, which is surprising because I have messed it up many, many times. So let's get right into it. The first thing we're gonna need to do is set up our propane grill for a 2-zone cook. We don't wanna cook these over direct heat. We're just gonna burn them if you do that. So what we're gonna wanna do is set up enough of a section to fit the ribs that don't have burners on. We're gonna cook these at about 275-ish degrees Fahrenheit or around 130 degrees Celsius for those of you who use the funny temperatures. This is a rather large grill, so I've got lots of area to do this. I'm gonna start with 2 burners on full heat, see where that gets us, if that'll get us to our 275, and that'll give me plenty of zone over here for indirect cooking. Well, that's heating up. Let's go ahead and get a look at our ribs. Now, I am using some spare ribs because that's what was on sale where I was. I think most people say you're supposed to use baby backs. I'm going with spare ribs. First mistake I'm probably making. Personally, of all the ribs, baby backs are probably my least favorite rib. They're the least meaty of ribs. I like the St. Louis and the spare rib. Spare ribs are basically just trimmed down St. Louis ribs. They're a little bit meatier, a little bit more fat on them. I like them better. And they happen to be on sale. So we're gonna pat them dry. Always pat your meat dry. Just get some of the excess moisture off it. We're not gonna go with any kind of binder or anything on this. These are really actually pretty simple. Great way to get into cooking some ribs and barbecue. There's honestly not much prep that needs to be done to these ribs. There is this little flap of meat that you can take off, or you could leave on if you want. It's just gonna really kind of overcook and get burnt. I like to take it off and use it as like a little snack for the cook. I'll just stick it on the grill and let it cook as I'm grilling. You can also use it in a stir fry for later. You could grind it up if you collect a bunch of them. But in general, this little piece over a long cook, it's not gonna come out great with the ribs. So I cut it off. Now, this little flappy bit here also, it's not connected to any of the ribs. So I find the last rib, which is right about here, and I cut along the end of that rib. That piece of meat also, not really gonna cook as great with the ribs. So that comes off for me also. Now you could get aggressive and you could cut all of this meat off. I'm actually just gonna leave it because they're actually kind of connected to the ribs and I think they'll cook well with it. So I got no problem with that. There's a couple little pieces of fat on here. Now you can be as picky or not picky as you want with your trim. Now we're down to the membrane. In most of my cooks, I just score the membrane. I think it kind of helps keep the ribs together as they cook. But a lot of people get mad when you do that. They're like, no, you have to take the membrane off. If you'd like to take the membrane off, it's really easy to do. You just take your little knife here, you get under the edge of it. See, but watch, see now, there's nothing holding this rib on if I pull that membrane off. I don't really like that. Personally, if you've always taken the membrane off, I urge you, please, just one time, try this method and just try to score it. Cut a bunch of lines in it. Over a couple hour cook, once it cooks down, you score it across the ends. Now it's holding my rib rack together for me. Go ahead and yell at me in the comments if you like. I like to do it this way. That is all the prep I need to do on these ribs. Now we need to make our Memphis-style rub. It's got quite a few ingredients. Let's go get them. You can see I got lots and lots of stuff here. Let's make a rub. We're gonna use 4 tablespoons of smoked paprika. We're gonna use the smoked paprika because it's gonna help give us that smoky flavor, because A, we're not on a smoker, and why not? Now this is gonna make up way more than you actually need, and it'll store for weeks and you can kind of reuse it as you want. It's kind of great on anything barbecue, so it's a great little rub. We're gonna use 3 tablespoons of sea salt. You can use kosher salt, use kind of any salt you want, as long as it's kind of like this medium to medium large size granule. 2 tablespoons of coarse ground pepper. This is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. 3 tablespoons of granulated garlic. Granulated garlic is different than garlic powder. It is a little bit of a coarser grind than garlic powder, so don't get garlic powder. 3 tablespoons of granulated onion. Tablespoon of dried oregano. Tablespoon of dried thyme. Tablespoon of celery salt. Tablespoon of celery seed. Tablespoon of mustard powder. And last but not least, 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Don't worry, it's not gonna make it spicy. This much in this big a batch, it's not gonna do much. Now, like I said, this makes quite a bit. You can adjust this recipe using fractions or math to make as much or as little as you want. It's pretty simple. Just keep the ratios the same. I make a bunch of it because I use it on a lot of barbecue stuff because I actually really like the flavor profile that it gives. I keep a bunch of these old shaker bottles around when I get rid of spices because they are great for when you make your own spice mixtures. Now you can close it up and then give it a real good shake. That's gonna make sure everything is mixed nice and well. And there you go. You have your own Memphis-style rub that you made yourself. Still probably cheaper than buying it at the store. It's time to sauce up some ribs. Well, not sauce. You know what I mean. Take your spice mixture. Now, do this, it's not the way to do it. If I sprinkle real low, what happened? I get a big pile of my rub. It's not what I want. I'm gonna move that off there like that. But if I sprinkle from up high, I know it's messy. Look how nice and even that coating is. You want to sprinkle from up high. It's messy, I know that, but it's the way you're gonna get your best coating and your most even coating across anything that you are sprinkling with a rub. So, nice and high. Make sure you get everything. Make a good mess of the table that you're sprinkling your rub on. The next step is to rub the rub into the pork. No. Even though they call it a rub, you don't actually rub it. Press it. Press your rub into the item. That is gonna make sure it sticks nicely, but you don't ruin the nice look that you just did. Now, I made a mistake. I probably should just not tell you that and move on and kind of look like I know what I'm doing, but it's not what I do here. I should have done the other side first and then done this side because this is gonna be the pretty side. This is the side that I care about. I should have done the ugly side first, flipped it, and then done this side so this side would look all pretty when I'm done. I didn't do that. So now I have to move this side over, do this side, and hope when I get to the other side, I'll top it off and try to make it look pretty without ruining what I just did. So, tip, always do the underside, the side you don't care about, showing first. Put that in there nice. Flip it over. Okay. I didn't ruin it too bad. I'm not upset with that. Now, these little guys, I'm going to season them, and I'm going to cook them as little pitmaster snacks. These are your treats as the person running the grill, in my opinion. Stick them on there. We can grill them hot and fast if we want. As little tasty snacks for while we're running the grill to treat ourselves for providing this lovely food to everybody.
You enjoying this video? Well, there's a few simple things you can do to help me out. 1, you could subscribe if you're not already. 2, you could give the video a like and hit that bell. All right?
All right, these are just gonna chill out and wait till our grill is to temp, which it is almost there. We have one last step that we're gonna do, which will hopefully take these and make them taste like real barbecue. The one thing you really don't get on a propane grill is that nice smoky flavor. Now we can cheat. You can make a tin foil package, you can make it with a little bin, like a tin foil pan. I call them tin foils. I don't know why. Where I'm from in New Jersey, we called it tin foil. People call them aluminum foil. I don't know. We called it tin foil. What did you call it where you're from? Let me know in the comments. Is it tin foil? Is it aluminum foil? Is it Reynolds wrap? Tin foil where I'm from. Or I got this little thing for like $4 on Temu. It's like a little smoke tube. I'm gonna fill it with some leftover pellets from my Ninja wood fire grill. I think these are oak or something. I throw a little bit of one of these wood fire starters in there, light it up, it smokes like heck. I throw it in there, close the lid off, it gives like a nice smoke filled chamber in there, and it adds that smoky flavor to my barbecue when I cook on my propane grills. It works really well, and it really gives that smoky flavor like you cooked on a smoker, but you're on a propane grill. It's really cheap, it's worth buying. Get them on Amazon, you can get them on Temu, you can get them anywhere. I'll throw a link for one of them down in the description below. You can get them anywhere you want. Really great little items. And put try to make less of a mess than I do, but I'm gonna throw a little bit of this guy in there. You don't even need a whole one. These are little fire starters for my Weber kettle grill. They're great. I cheat with them in here because they add something that I can, if I put the whole one in there, it's too much. It goes way too smoky and the whole thing is on fire. So I throw a little bit in there and I cover it with more pellets. Then these were in my holiday gift guide. These are called grill armor gloves. You can hold things that are even on fire with these things. That's how good they are. They'll discolor a little bit, but they work. And we are at 262 on the grill, so we are just about ready to go. Time to light our smoke tube here. Just a regular old lighter will work. Get them going. A little bit of flame. Try to catch some of that little fire starter guy you got in there. Okay. Just get it a little bit going because we're actually going to stick it over here on top of the part that's on fire. That's going to definitely ignite it. Well, that catches some smoke, and once we start seeing some smoke coming out of there, we're going to go ahead and get these ribs on the grill. Oh, I have a question for you. What do you call a pig on a leash? Pulled pork. Now we do have some extra rub. We are going to need that later because when these come off the grill, we're going to go ahead and dust them with this at the end, and it's going to add an awesome extra bit of flavor. We are almost ready. The last thing we need to do is mix up our mop or our spritz. It's really simple. Get yourself a nice clean spray bottle. In said spray bottle, you're going to grab some apple cider vinegar, and you're going to mix up a 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar. This bottle's great because it's got little measuring things on there. That's 10 ounces. And good old-fashioned apple juice. 10 ounces of apple juice. Shake it up. And we're gonna use that to spritz this every 30 minutes as it's cooking. We got a nice little smolder going on our smoke tube. We're at about 252, which I'm happy with. It's pretty cold out here in Florida today. It's only like 50 degrees out. So I'm good with this. This has enough room to keep the ribs away from the fire. 250 is gonna be good. Might just take me a little bit longer to get these cooked. So we're gonna go ahead and throw these on. Temperatures are variable. Work with what you got. Now, this grill's big enough that I can actually turn on a third burner and keep this thing tucked in the corner where I'm not touching any of that heat. So I kicked on that third burner. We'll see how this goes. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, forgot my snacks. I'm gonna throw them on just over here. We'll do them on a little bit of low heat for a little while, and then we'll hit them over on the high heat because I'm getting kind of hungry. All right, these folks have been on here for about 2 hours. I've been spritzing them every 30 minutes. Let's give them a check. We've been rocking around 250, 265, 270, bounces around. I keep messing with the dials here, but pretty consistent. All right. Ooh, looking a little dry, like we need a spritz. Not too bad though. I'll give you guys a closer look here, hold on. We don't really have any pullback going on the ribs yet. We're pretty early in this cook, so these still have some time going. We'll look at our snacks. Snacks are still kind of loose looking. We'll give them a flip. We're getting that mahogany looking color. We'll look at our pellets. These could use a refill. We'll give our pellets a refill, get some more smoke going, and check back with you in a little bit. Also, just wondering, do you know what Batman's favorite pork is? Goth ham. Yeah. We are just about 4 hours into this cook. Been spritzing them every 30. Let's go ahead and see how they look. They look fantastic. My snacks look terrible. I forgot about them, and they are probably a crispy, charred mess. But the ribs themselves are getting there. At this point, I don't need to mess with the smoke tube anymore. It's probably taken as much smoke as it's gonna take, so we're good there. I do have a little bit of pullback, but not much. And as you can see, we are not tender. We have no flop going on. If I wanna have any chance at eating these anytime soon, and I don't wanna wrap these, I'm gonna kick the temperature up a little bit because it's about 3 o'clock here today. I wanna have dinner around 5 or 6 o'clock, so I don't wanna be sitting here for more and more hours, but I do have to leave to take my daughter to golf. So I'm gonna kick up the temperature a little bit. I gotta go to golf. I'll be back from golf probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So hopefully these will be done by then. Let's find out. Let's see how horrible my snacks came out. Oh my God, they are. They're a little crispy. All right, let's take this guy, which is probably gonna have a little bit more juice going on it. It is a little bit dried out, a little overcooked, but oh yeah, it's chewy and overcooked. I probably should have snacked on these about 2 hours ago. Although, as a seasoning check, seasoning's on point. I'll see you guys in a couple hours, see if these things are done. It's much later, and I have a good news, bad news scenario. It looks like the ribs are done. However, it also looks like that while I was out at golf picking up the kiddo, we ran out of propane. So the ribs are cold. So, not good. I'm gonna have to stick them in the oven to warm them up. There's the kiddo. So I gotta take these ribs off. I gotta stick them in the oven to get them warmed up. And then I'll see you in a little bit when hopefully we have some warm ribs that we can cut up and see how they taste. This is the life of trying to have a real life and do YouTube and pull off a channel. That's what happens. All right. I swore that camera was recording when I cut these ribs. You'll see it on the side camera here. So the side camera will show me cutting the ribs. We did our first taste already, but I'll give you another bite. They were really good. A few observations on the ribs. They're well seasoned. Go ahead, take another bite, kiddo. I think they could have gone a little bit longer to be a little bit more tender. As you can see, they definitely have some pull. They're not fall off the bone tender. They do have a little bit of bite to them. I actually like my ribs with some bite to them. I got no problem with this.
TikTok celebration dance for how good it is.
I like the bark on there. Very nice. I like that Memphis-style seasoning on there. This section looks really tender.
I love this. I want to
Try a little bite of that. As you can see, I have a little bit of pullback, but not a whole lot. Personally, I know they don't wrap their ribs. I probably still would have wrapped these, maybe done a little bit of just the apple cider and the vinegar, just to tenderize them a little bit more. Please do all the likey, subscribe stuff. Stay tuned because I will be releasing membership soon. I'm just putting on the final touches on that, deciding what they're gonna be. If you'd like more information on this Denali 605 grill, I'll throw the links down below for my unboxing and the information I have on that. All the links to everything that I've used will be in the description below. I do have one more question for you. What do you get when a pig wears a cow's shoes?
what?
Moose shoe pork. Yeah.
He's not funny. Daddy, can we tell them about the new video that you're editing on your other channel?
Sure. I'm actually wearing my Tennessee t-shirt, or hoodie, because we recently just got back from a trip to the Smoky Mountains. We did a whole trip over to Tennessee. We went skiing. I haven't been skiing in 30 years. She went skiing for the first time in her life. I'm editing that video right now. It'll be out soon on my other channel, Dad Got Parks.
Wow.
I'll throw a link down to that below. Also, if you want to follow us on all our adventures on our other channel, that's less food related, more fun related. Go ahead and check that out if you like. Dad may tell very bad jokes. The kiddo may dance, but there's one thing Dad doesn't do.
Dad doesn't josh us. So that's it. Bye.